A lot of us have vices and bad addictions to things we want to get rid of that's affecting our daily lives. These things obviously range from phone addiction, Pornhub, video games, alcohol, drugs, and all the things that hinder us from living a relatively higher quality of life. It ironically makes us feel like shit often when we chase it because we know deep down they act as escapism from the reality of dealing and confronting our poor mental health we have at the time. So whenever we become afraid to tackle it, we run towards whatever vices feel good in the moment. I had multiple addictions to things. So for example, I had a massive porn and video game addiction, and me being extremely self-aware of these, it often made me feel like shit whenever life would get hard and I was faced with trials and tribulations. I would often run to these two things to avoid doing what I needed to do in order to live well and quit these addictions. But it's not until I got into self-improvement and incorporated sustainable, simple systems that fixed my mental health that I was able to quit these addictions and never go for it again. So I want to make something clear before I yap my ass away. I want to say that I'm not perfect by any means. I sometimes have urges to fall back into addictive habits I once had, like playing video games, and instead of watching porn, I don't do that shit. I would instead fall into addictive patterns like eating things like junk food to cope with the stress of life. Although it wouldn't take long for me to feel gross from eating all that sugar. And bro, I just had to let you know with complete transparency and make you aware that you're not alone and that it's okay to be honest with yourself about your addiction. Which, by the way, segues to my first talking point of having humility to admit to yourself you have an addiction or even urges to do these things. Because the reality is, a lot of people like to act in denial and cope with their addictions and say things like, this helps me unwind or relax from the day, when deep down, that's not the case. And if it was, one, you wouldn't be watching this video to begin with, and two, you wouldn't feel a little unsettled from the subtle feeling that your life is going downhill from keeping these addictions with you. Having the humility to actually talk like this gives you clarity to take action on anything that doesn't serve you in the long term, especially if it's excessively pleasurable things that should be enjoyed in moderation or earned. And I heavily emphasize moderation because I'm not like those other self-help gurus or self-improvement YouTubers who will tell you to stop doing things you genuinely enjoy doing and just call you a loser for doing these things just because the things we personally find enjoyable are different. I'm not like that. My whole thing is, just as long as you're not doing harm to yourself, harm to anyone else, then do what you want. But doing these things consecutively on a day-to-day basis that should only be done in moderation deteriorates your quality of life, especially in these three important domains of life, which I have mentioned in previous videos, but I'm going to go over them briefly, which is health, wealth, and relationships. And if those things are not in check, then you know you're bugging. Health is obviously your physical and mental well-being, and ways it can be boosted is from the gym, reading, meditation, or socializing with good quality people. Next is wealth. Wealth is your ability to earn money or invest so you have consistent income coming in. And obviously relationships can range from like friendships, relationship with family, relationships in a romantic aspect, things that just makes you feel rejuvenated and connected to other people. And also you got to make sure it's the right type of people, of course. But if your addiction, whatever it may be, is taken away from these three things of your life, you have to get rid of it immediately. And that's certainly not by going cold turkey on it, because a lot of people think the cold turkey method will work. In some cases it will, but 9 times out of 10 from what I noticed, it doesn't. But instead of like going cold turkey or resisting the urge to do them, try by changing your behavior first. In order to change your behavior, you have to become so fed up with how you are constantly doing things that are frying your dopamine receptors and do or seek things that make you either one, forget about it, or two, not even care about it at all. Because the addiction that you have is just simply a byproduct of overstimulating your dopamine receptors to overindulge and gain familiarity with that habit. And by now, most of you guys should know what dopamine is and what it does, and I'm not going to explain it in this video, so I urge you to go watch a video on dopamine and the simple explanation of that. And do this until that familiarity with the habit makes you feel either tired, numb, unmotivated, and unwilling to do the boring things you need to do, which you and I both know will yield you 80% of the results that you want. And bro, it's the whole reason why people can't do simple things like read nowadays. And I don't literally mean like being able to read the words on a page, but I mean like just sitting down and reading a book in one session, myself included. And yes, I'm about to snitch on myself real quick because I'm not gonna lie, bro, during Christmas break or Christmas vacation or whatever you want to call it, I felt myself falling back into temptation and becoming less disciplined. Like dead ass, I would skip like days of the gym for the last couple of weeks and wanted to stay in and just chill and didn't even feel like recording these types of videos. Like I wasn't completely doing nothing, but like the only time I was really productive during that time frame is when a friend asked me to go work out with him. And of course, me being me, I wasn't gonna go back on my word, right? Because I already had said yes. But for the majority of those 2 weeks, I was severely inconsistent with the gym. I wasn't going as hard. I was just doing things that weren't really productive, and I wasn't really doing things that was up to par with my standards. But once I decided to indulge in these video games like the good old days, immediately I got reminded of why I even stopped doing it in the first place, because because although it was fun temporarily, the long stretch of playing reminded me of how shitty it made me feel afterward. And this is not me saying video games are bad by any means or that you should stop playing video games. It's just that I personally was using it for comfort to avoid doing things I needed to do. And bro, I didn't even put in enough effort throughout the weeks to earn that privilege to play the video games in the first place. So after that little session, I'm just sitting there thinking to myself like, damn, I'm being a dickhead right now. I didn't train today, I didn't record a video, and here I am sitting comfortably on my bed playing video games like a dweeb. And me, bro, I don't like to feel this way, so I had to do something. And so that negative reinforcement got me to want to get back on track. And so I started small by putting my shoes on one day and got going to the gym. And after just 30 minutes of working out, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I felt great and felt a strong urge to record once again. And the funny thing is that video games was the last thing that was on my mind, since I got a good source of dopamine from putting the hard work in from the gym, which if you remember, the 3 domains of life, the health part was checked off. And the crazy thing is, bro, is that it bled into other domains, which was wealth and relationships. So wealth would technically be me recording this video right now because I do earn money from YouTube. Not just that, on weekends I work my 9-to-5 job, so I felt more inclined to pick up more shifts throughout the week. And that only happened because I fixed that one crucial, important domain of my life, which was health. And of course, relationships too, because I could bring the best part of myself to people when I'm in social settings. And so for you, bro, you have to do things that will not only benefit you, but make you a hell of a lot less interested in instant gratification things that you were doing before. Like, it doesn't have to be anything grandiose like going to the gym, although I am a huge advocate for it. Like, bro, it could be something as small as like going on a 30-minute walk and breaking up throughout your day, or putting your phone away, which is a huge thing, and reading a book, or starting enjoyable new hobbies that benefit your life. And doing that backed up with the negative reinforcement that you got from the other habit will be a reminder to you as to why you stopped doing these hedonistic things in the first place. Because remember, cold turkey doesn't always work, it's not sustainable, and willpower certainly won't help you either, because you will be fighting an unnecessary, constant uphill battle with yourself. And instead, you should be doing things that make you feel good, to the point to where the bad habits are the last things that are on your mind. And do new good things that are not only easy, but sustainable and simple to do. Like how I did by simply just putting on my gym shoes and going to the gym for 30 minutes. And yes, I was only in there for 30 minutes. You don't have to be there for long durations. By doing that, making things easy to do, you're far less likely to do anything that doesn't serve you. Or at least if you are gonna indulge in these pleasurable things, it's gonna be less guilt-free because what you did was earn your own dopamine. That's all for this one. If you guys found value from this, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, dream big, and take action. I'm gonna see you guys. Peace.